My name is Rishad. Today is the 4th of November 2023 and I'm going to be making my weekly prediction for SPY. As usual, we'll go over the monthly, weekly, and finally the daily charts, and then switch over to the Excel sheet where we review last week's trades, if there were any, and this week's current prediction in more detail and cover option chains. So, before getting into the video, it's important to make the disclaimer that all information in this video is completely educational, and therefore it's important to conduct your own analysis before entering any position in the market in order to avoid unnecessary losses and risks. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into this video. So, firstly, for the monthly charts, we can see that for the month of October, we closed at a spinning top candle since we had a month of strong bearish trajectory, and then we had the month of October, which closed at a spinning top, showing sort of indecision. Since the wicks on both sides are pretty evenly matched. However, we do know that the month was pretty much completely bearish until last week, which has rallied the market like crazy and brought the price up to 434.69, which is almost 16 points in a week. That is crazy. And we can see that by volume as well, this month was comparatively quite high if we look at the other months. And we can see here that the RSI did cross below and then cross back up, obviously because of the bullish movement this week, which we'll see in more detail when we switch to the weekly charts. But so far we have an indecisive signal for the monthly charts, but we can see, although we can't predict on it for this month, it's a green candle so far. But this is more apparent when we head to the weekly charts, where we can see the last 2 weeks we had large red body candles, and then we had this reversal this week going from 413 to 434.69, which is more than a 20-point change in a week, and that's why we have this extremely large body, almost a Marubozu candle. And we can see that the RSI has just pulled back to the average and almost crossed it. So we have another good signal from the RSI. Although it's not a crossover, so it's not necessarily a bullish signal, we can see that it has crossed two resistances at 418, which was the entry stop for the resistance last week's prediction, which we'll see when we switch over to the Excel chart, and 432. So we have two breaks of resistance. Very, very strong bullish confirmation. Volume is high, not higher than the last 2 weeks though, but still comparatively quite high. And so therefore we have a strong bullish signal from the weekly charts. So now let's switch over to the final technical analysis part of the video. And we can see that this week was just entirely bullish. 30th October all the way until here, from the 3rd of November, has just been green candles. And there have been gaps that haven't been filled throughout the entire week. And we can see that it's rallied up, completely negating all of the downward price movement in just 1 week. And we can see there's gaps, large body candles. We just have complete bullish signals. We can see volume was quite high for the last 3 candles and was steadily going up. We have volume confirmation as well. We can see that it's crossed the average here. Again, strong bullish signal. And the RSI has crossed its average as well. So we have complete bullish signals from the daily charts. But just to note, when we switch over to the weekly charts, because this plays into the prediction, we do need an entry position, because the weekly options do give a bearish outlook, so we have to be a little bit safer, and therefore the entry is not going to be the high of this candle. However, it's going to be the average in the middle of the Bollinger Bands at 438.40, and if we switch over to the daily charts, we can keep the position at the entry trigger for a sell position as the average in the daily charts at 426.25, so this gives us an approximately 12-point range, which is large enough to avoid unnecessary whipsaws. But regardless, from all 3 charts we have, well, from the weekly and daily charts we have bullish signals, but the monthly chart shows indecision from last month. But obviously this month's candle will determine which direction the market goes in. So let's switch over to the Excel chart. We can see that last week we had a buy signal on the 1st of November 2023 with an entry price of 419.20, and we took a total of 258 shares, giving us a market exposure of 108,153.6, and our exit price of 423.4, giving us almost exactly 1% in profit, which equates to 1,083 US dollars, and our final balance from last week is 109,446.02. Now, as for this week's prediction, it's again, we told no trade yet. We wait for the candle to break out. We buy when it crosses the average of the weekly charts at 438.40. Sell when it falls below the average in the daily charts at 426.25 with a target of 1% and a trailing stop loss. If a position is taken and the target and stop loss is not hit, then we take the closing price on Friday. And the max OI for the monthly expiry is 440 for CE at 75,682 and 400 for PE at 204,995, and the PCR is 2.07 and is unchanged. The max OI for the weekly expiry is 430 for CE at 17,565 and 400 for PE at 33,052. The PE has gone down from last week, which is slightly bearish, which is why we're being a little bit conservative. But however, the technical analysis does show that the market is just going to go up. But just because of this, we're going to be just a little bit extra safe to avoid unnecessary losses. The weekly PCR is 1.84. The trend currently is down. However, that has been reversed by this candle, and this current week's price action may determine whether that is subject to change. The monthly trend currently is up, and obviously as the months pass by, this may be subject to change. So this concludes our video for the SPY prediction for this week. As usual, if there are any relevant changes to this prediction, they will be covered on this channel. But until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.